Hi there, Robin here from Expert Island, and Marine Week's carrying on, and today we're going to be talking about a marine amplifier. What we've got here is a 2-channel amplifier that's 200 watts per side, so they compacted there, and the idea is to also have it bridgeable, which it is, with an active crossover in it. So, that all being said, let's open it up. Now this is the Pyle PLMRA200. And the 200 is a pretty popular amplifier because a lot of people are getting like 1 or 2 10-inch subwoofers and they just want to add that onto their system. So this is a really good way to do that. Now with the active crossover in it, you don't have to have a subwoofer channel on your radio. That's important. So your head unit doesn't have to have that. So we've got the amp in the box. We also have the instruction manual showing us how to do all the magic. We'll take that with us just to make sure that I get it right. Yep, there we go. Put that there. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna put this aside for now. Okay, getting into this box. Pop the corners out. Okay. Put that over there. More. Here we go. All right. As we get in here, there we go. All right, we are in. So, there we go. Nice white amplifier. Now it is marine grade, so it is lacquer coated all inside, but it's not splash proof because all the connections are exposed. We've got RCA jacks on this side. We've got a couple of buttons and switches. We've got a high input gain control line, so this way we can come off of, let's say, our rear speakers without having to run RCA cable. So if you've got a problem, I'll show you how this works in a second. On this side here, we've got our speaker outputs. So on one side we've got our left, we got negative, positive, and then on our right we've got negative, positive, and on the very top it's written bridged, and they're telling you to go to the outside and the outside. So that's a pretty straightforward way of getting that hooked up. On the other side we've got our power, so we've got our ground, we've got a remote in the middle, and we've got our 12 volts. So our remote is that blue wire coming off the radio. So when the radio goes on, that'll trigger the amp to go on. And the blue is our fuse, which is blue, so it's whatever blue is. All right, we're gonna leave that in there. So I'm going with, it's 25 amps, 25 amp fuse. Okay. So there we go. So if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna check here. And it's, yes, it's a MOSFET amplifier. When it's bridged, it's 400 watts. And when you're running in 2-channel, it's 200 watts times 2. Again, pretty straightforward. The buttons on the side are, depending on how we're going to use it. If we just want to have it as a straight amp, we're going to leave the first button, which is for the active crossover, off. And then the second button here, it's our bridged and stereo button. So again, if we're just using it as a stereo amp, maybe we've got some wakeboard speakers we've got to run, leave that out. If we're planning on bridging it and running it on to our subs, we're going to push that in, and the same thing here, so we can adjust the crossover. Now, if you have adjustable crossover in your system, you already have a subwoofer out, then it doesn't really matter if you push this guy in or not, because we don't necessarily need to use the one in there. Now, if you did use that one as redundant, it would be set to the highest level that you felt comfortable having this crossover at for your subs. Then over here, we've got gain control. So this is proportionate to whatever we do on the volume. So if you're going to run some speakers off your head unit, and then you're going to run the sub off of this, or maybe like I had a customer who has some wakeboard speakers, he's running off of this, put the volume up about 25%, then adjust this actual dial to balance out the sound. And once you dial that in, you feel that's at the right level, then listen to it at the level you plan on listening to it most of the time. And then if you need to tweak it a little bit, and then it should all stay proportionate as you turn things up and down. So that's everything. The Pyle is a very affordable amplifier, especially when you're looking, let's say, on Amazon or on our website. these are always popular because people just like having them. And if you don't overload them, if you don't stress them out, they're going to last an awful long time. So that's important. When people try and get this down 2 ohms and then they have too many things hooked up to it and they go, oh no, it worked for like a whole week, and then all of a sudden it stopped. Well, you know, that's because it's kind of like having a car, putting a big massive trailer in behind it and driving down the highway at 80 miles an hour. It worked fine for the first week. Now I don't know. So there we go. So I think we've pretty much covered everything we need to cover on here. Now, one thing I did want to talk about is the things you need to hook this up. A lot of people are going to say, okay, I got my amp, I'm all set, no problem. Well, you need a few extra things. Now, you can either piecemeal it and go, oh, well, okay, so I need some extra stuff. What do I need? Well, you're going to need some connectors, some fuses, a bottle fuse, all that kind of stuff. These sort of things. So if you're paying an installer to do it, you know what he's really paying you for. You're going to need speaker wire, of course, to hook that all up. You're going to need at least one set of RCA cables on that. And then you're going to need lots of power cable. Positive and negative because you're running it in the boat, so you're probably going to need long lengths of both. Your other option is to, and this is the much more economical way of doing it, and make sure you get everything you need. Now, depending where you live, there are going to be different kinds. Again, we have like 4 different models of this on our website, right? So let's get all this stuff out of the way because we don't need to see this. This is what everybody calls an amp kit. Now, an amp kit's going to give you everything plus a lot more than what we just saw here. It's going to give you everything from your zip ties, your RCA cables. Gives you this particular kit gives you nice housing tubes, so this way you can hide all your wires and cable manage. Gives you your full power cable coming off the battery, already set up with the bottle fuse in line. Gives you more power cable to get you to your amplifier. There's even a ground cable in here somewhere. All the connectors you're going to need to hook up your amplifier properly are all in here. And this is just one kit. This happens to be a 4-gauge kit. They come in variations of gauges, and you know, an amp like this, this being a 4-gauge, an amp like this, an 8-gauge is fine for the power handling capability of it. If we were into something much more powerful, then I would go down to a 4-gauge. So, but that's what you're looking at right there. So that's the biggest thing you're going to need to make this all work. There we go. I just wanted to cover that for you. So there we are. We have the Pyle PLMRA200. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you liked what we talked about today, leave me a thumbs up and please subscribe. Always looking for new subscribers. Thank you very much. See you next time.